Hi, everyone. Welcome to this expert discussion where we have Marc with us talking about everything around data as the fourth pillar. Marc comes with a great amount of experience on everything around business, executives, data, and also AI. And I'm a big follower of Marc and some of the great stuff he posts on LinkedIn. But without further ado, maybe we have Marc introduce yourself. Marc, can you please say a bit more about who you are and what you do?
Of course, it. So I'm Marc. I've been in the AI and data consulting business since 2001, working with companies like Accenture, IBM Global Business Services, and Deloitte. The last 15 years building data and AI teams. I'm currently living with my family in Switzerland, where I'm again responsible for an AI and data consulting business. Um, Main focus the last couple of years, of course, for me, AI, supporting currently very large multinationals building an AI factory, and a medium-sized med tech company with their AI transformation. Um, glad to be here, Sid. Also for me, it's an honor to talk to you guys today.
Appreciate it, Marc. And just to share, of course, the discussion we are having today, for all of us, we are just sharing our personal opinions and does not reflect any of our employers, just to share that. So maybe let's start the discussion, Marc. You mentioned yourself AI, and we've all seen the innovation and the speed of innovation around AI, right? I mean, a couple of years ago, especially with the advent of Chat GPT, OpenAI, Gen AI, then we went into the wave around RAGs and different kinds of ways to ground the AI. Now we are in the last few months or quarters seeing a lot of buzz around agentic AI, AI agents. But in all of this, right, innovations, how do you see the role of data play? Do you feel data is still as sufficient, important, or more important, or do you feel AI and agentic and so on is kind of self-sufficient and it doesn't really rely so much on data?
It's a complex question, Sid. Yeah? So interesting for me is so we are getting a lot of requests from clients to talk about AI, and what I really find exciting is it's now an opportunity for people like me to talk really directly to CEOs, to business owners. This has never been the case in the 20 years beforehand. That we are now talking to boards to give education, that we are talking to several C-level executives. Big change, huh? Because in the past, really in the past, it was somebody within the CFO department. The last 5 to 10 years, the first chief data officers emerged, but now it's really at the very top of the firm. And in these discussions, data usually does not play any role. But then on the other hand, I mentioned I'm doing not only AI, but also data work with my team. On the other hand, I'm getting also quite a lot of requests, specifically in the last 2 years, around master data management, around data quality. But these two things, they're currently completely seen as separate topics. And that's, of course, utterly wrong. But I believe the maturity of many of the C-level leaders is not there yet, that they are seeing a connection.
I think that is very important as well, Mark, that you bring out. And that's one of the key reasons we have ventured on this book journey, Sid and myself, to bring that connection between AI and data. AI is one of the initiatives that leverage data, but more since AI is on top of the mind for business executives and CEOs, that try to help them to understand that there is no AI, you cannot scale AI without that data, right? And from the data side, what we have also tried to capture is to bring in not only just focus on the supply of data that most data leaders are doing, help them to understand that you must start with the demand for data, because and AI is one such demand, data monetization is another such demand. And to capture that demand for data, and that demand language enables data leaders to come closer to the business leaders who are talking the AI language, right? And that could help bridge this gap, right? And with that, to help understand, okay, how do you actually converse on demand for data, we have formulated something called data intensity. And that data intensity we have kind of measured through a framework called QCS. And you talked about quality of data, like master data, right? So quality of data, compliance of data, and the speed of data. And each initiative, like an AI initiative or any data monetization, or if you're changing your business model, needs different data intensity, different QCS levels. And we believe and we hope, and that's what we are guiding the business leaders and the data leaders to come together and talk around this data intensity. So, your thoughts on that, Marc?
Sujay, I think it's a super innovative approach that you guys are taking. I think the reason why executives are currently not focusing that much, or business executives are not focusing that much on data, is I believe that they are on the AI transformation journey still very much at the beginning. Although all of us that are following this topic are seeing this huge amount of innovation, and I'm spending probably every day 2 to 3 hours working with Gen AI tools myself. It's incredible what happened in the last 2 years, and it's almost every week that there are some new news around cool new topics. Um, when you take a look at what clients are doing, what organizations are doing, they are still testing.
Yeah.
And it's when I say they are still testing, it might not be necessarily how they are seeing themselves. I was having yesterday a big workshop with a chief transformation officer who has started a massive SAP transformation program. And when I was talking with her and her team on AI, the feedback came, yeah, we are doing already so much. We are having so many use cases. But I believe, and we did not really dive there into the details. I believe these use cases, most of them are not productive, and those that are productive are not necessarily really bringing value. There is a very small amount of companies that really matured. And when I mentioned during my intro, I'm supporting one of them building an AI factory, although they are relatively new to the journey, but they already identified many, many use cases and the similarities among these, and are also talking about reimagining processes end to end. So I think at least from a thinking perspective, they are far ahead, but also there, um, not many use cases have already set live. And I believe this big demand for proper data quality and analysis, what are our strategic data assets? An analysis, what kind of data assets could we buy from ecosystem partners to gain additional competitive advantage. I think this will still take a couple of years until business executives are realizing this.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, you bring a very important point here, Mark. And as you were saying, I was almost visualizing how you were talking about it. Because now we have so many options, right, in terms of language models. But then again, at least my experience, and would love your thoughts, it's almost becoming a commodity. Whether you use OpenAI, you use Gemini, or any other one, it's almost becoming towards that state where it's becoming a commoditized uh, aspect. Of course, now on top of that, how, as you mentioned, the use cases you apply it to and the workflows and the business processes and how that could help can be a differentiator. But do you also see data becoming a differentiator? Because how you have the right data, whether it's unstructured data, whether it's data proprietary to your organization, any other kind of data, do you think that is going to be more and more the differentiator for business and executives on how AI is can be used to innovate?
Um, so short answer, Sid, yes. And now let's try to bring the details to it. So when you say large language models are becoming commodity. For me, they've always been commodity from the very beginning, to be very frank.
Mhm.
I didn't never understand why some major competitors of ours really did a lot of analysis and updated this every month about which language model is faster there and is bringing better quality there. For us, it was very critical from the very beginning to provide to our clients a kind of marketplace where they are able to provide VApps and also within VApps have the opportunity to switch between the large language models. Yeah. Now, since the last 6 months, a new topic has been emerging, agentic AI. And there we are already seeing that big companies like SAP, ServiceNow, Salesforce, all of the big software providers are massively investing in this to help clients get additional efficiencies. And when we are having discussions with heads of transformation or C-level executives, of course, this is a big thing for them. Leveraging AI to slim processes. Now, why do I believe data will become a big differentiator? Because for us, the biggest impact AI will have for our clients is not just by getting efficiency gains. It will be about building new business models, um, enabling function to get into a more proactive position. And in order to do that, it will not be usually sufficient just to take the data that this department is responsible for, but to connect different kind of data pools and partially data pools that are outside of the firm or organization. In order to get there, you need to take care that the data is properly managed, that it's properly structured, and that the quality is super high. And for that one, I really love the title of your book. You need to consider it as a strategic pillar.
Yeah. Thank you, Mark, for the summary. And that's where we're coming to. And I think you've been hinting a lot on the data quality, which is also important, top of the mind. But I think we also want to draw attention to other dimensions of data, which is the compliance aspect as well, because you need to work in a compliant manner, not only your internal compliance, but also external regulatory compliance, privacy concerns. And another aspect is about the speed of the data, Mark, right? Because you're talking about a lot of external data coming in, and now with agentic AI and etc., they can't wait for the data another hour. So it must be available right there and right now, which needs to be a very important considerations. And there could be some initiatives like marketing campaign that you're running. Maybe it can wait for a day or stuff to get the data. But if you're working like on a fraud management agentic AI, for example, the fraudulent transaction must be available right there and right now in real time. So there is this difference that every initiative brings in, and we want to also bring upon that that nuances and understanding that difference of the quality, compliance, and the speed. And hence we have formulated that QCS framework that helps you to understand, the demand is all not the same. There is a variety there. And that's the complexity enterprises needs to understand so that they are ready to deliver that.
It's all fair points, Sujay. What I was thinking about when listening to you is the topic reimagination.
Yeah.
That popped up at one of my clients very big, and reimagination is of course a meaning, a word that has been out there for many years. Now at this one client, what I really liked there is one of the AI use cases we are doing there is in the advertisement space. They are in a highly regulated business, so yes, compliance is a very big thing for them.
Yeah.
They have to do a lot of reviews of their ads before they are putting them live into the markets.
Yeah.
And currently, from ad creation to launching the campaign in the market, it's a process that takes between 6 to 8 weeks. Now, what we are doing together with them is we are bringing the data, the people, the processes of the advertisement team and the regulatory compliance team together
Yeah.
into the same user experience. So the ad team is doing their advertisement. As soon as they are ready for review, yeah, they launch it. It's getting the lawyers, the regulatory guys are getting pulled in,
Yeah.
and Gen AI in the background was not only helping the ad guys to do the advertisement faster, but it's also doing an automatic review of the ad,
Yeah.
considering the market it needs to be launched or is supposed to be launched, and is then telling the lawyers, look, from my Gen AI's perspective, that stuff here is fine. That stuff needs to get reviewed and business needs to take a responsibility decision. And this kind of stuff we actually would not see as being compliant. The lawyers are doing their work. Yeah, it's all in the same kind of business process. But by having done this, we believe we will be able to reduce the process times from 6 to 8 weeks to 2 business days. Now, when I'm talking with my team, they are saying this is actually not a reimagination. This is just business re-engineering,
Yeah.
business process re-engineering.
Yeah.
The reimagination would be if after the ad is set free for release, it's really personalized. So somebody so me, Marc, is getting a different ad than Sujay,
Yeah.
and Sujay and Marc are getting a different ad than Sid. And if you want to go that way, you need to have exactly these topics all in focus that you mentioned.
Yeah.
So, and the reason why I believe this becomes more relevant is I do believe this agentic AI, it will also be very soon commoditized.
Yeah.
And business processes will run much faster and much more personalized. So there is a big opportunity coming if data is seen as a strategic pillar.
Truly. I think very
Absolutely.
great example. Cool.
Yeah, absolutely, Mark. And that shows one of the reasons why, as you said, we've put data as the fourth pillar, because we see data being the differentiator along with the right symbiotic relationship with the people, processes, and technology. But the other side of the coin, and to talk about it from a data as the fourth pillar, we also need the people, processes, and technology to aid data, because only when you have the right data foundation and you can scale data across the enterprise, can you perform all of these kind of business transformations and the reimagination, as you said, Mark. Because traditionally, I have at least seen uh, a lot of data efforts put by the data office team, etc. They say, oh, it's a lot of work and it requires a lot of time to manage and maintain and keep the data up to the right quality or the right compliance or the right speed.
Yeah.
Do you also see AI and agentic AI helping data and scale data? Because I remember one of your LinkedIn posts which stuck with me, where you almost said AI agents in the future might even be part of the people workforce, right? And you were talking about how that could weave into organization structures in future. The same could be thought of for processes, the same could be thought of for technology. So do you see agents and helping it eventually also scale data so that the people who are managing the data have to focus more on the important parts?
So first, what we really see, and I'm very certain that this is soon going to come, is that digital FTEs will be part of organizational diagrams. And this whole wave of agentic AI will move into this direction. So there will be an email address or really a digital FTE that you can contact by using your Microsoft tools or your IBM tools, and you ping that person. Perhaps you even call, and have a conversation with this bot about what kind of tasks you need to get done by that. It could be, look, I want to set up a marketing campaign, or there's this event. Could you help me with invitations? Could you? And then the agentic AI, will ask a couple of questions that it requires to get the task done. Is going to plan the task and is going to execute on the task. And And this will be in all areas of business, not only in the data space, but of course and foremost on the IT side, we will see the quickest this development, because there are a lot of people that love innovation, that are really good in technology anyways, and are not afraid of handing tasks over, specifically not tasks that are not the biggest fun. Yeah. So I do not only believe that agentic AI will help a lot, agentic AI, Gen AI, will help a lot with getting also data quality improved. Um, I do believe that even tools like SAP will be completely customized going forward. It will be very much about that I am talking to my software about the requirements I'm going to have, and the software will adjust to what I'm asking it to do. It will be all much more flexible and really react to speech. Of course, people that are talking to their software about a recustomization, they need to have an understanding about programming, about data again. Yeah, but I believe more and more of these responsibilities can really be handed over to business, because they will not need to have a detailed understanding of SQL or other kind of languages. They will talk to the tools. They will discuss. They will ask questions and then come to a conclusion.
Yeah. And I think that future is really exciting and bright. I think we are in a very cusp of that time, right? So many things are happening. However, Mark, like most things, it will not happen with the snap of a finger, right? There's a lot of work to be done, and enterprises must have to go through a maturity journey, right? Because many companies are at different phases, different levels. Some companies, as you said, boards and CEOs have a realization or that data is critical and what needs to be done even to get into AI and agentic AI. Some companies, there might be a quite different discussions of AI and data happening in different forums, right? So
Yeah,
how do you see the maturity journey? And that's what we have kind of covered in that book, is that in to make data as the fourth pillar, it cannot happen just overnight. Companies have to, like we have formulated three phases, go to set up the foundation of that, and then maybe scale it, and then finally go to an automated level where all these AI agents are working into the people, the processes, and technology.
yeah.
So your perspective and thinking on the maturity journey for the enterprises.
So of course there is a maturity journey. Of course, it's also possible, I believe, to jump over a maturity level. Um, my key advice to clients would just be start as early as possible with a proper focus on data. Get your guys educated about the possibilities of agentic AI and about the requirements that are coming towards your data teams. Because what I mentioned at the very beginning, currently I'm really seeing their disconnect.
Yeah.
There is a lot of focus from business executives on the AI side,
Yeah.
and I do believe there will be also more and more major investments.
Yeah.
And then when they are trying to put a lot of this stuff live, they will figure out the data quality was just not there.
Yes.
And then of course, this will also impact the success of AI transformation. And it might be that a lot of people within the organization are losing trust in AI, which would be, from my perspective, a major mistake. The quicker you focus on data, the more successful the overall transformation will be.
True. And the journey must begin now, right? You have to be on the road
Yes.
to continue that, and that's what we want to bring in that thing, right? So
So maybe with that, Mark, I mean, you're right. I mean, that's the core purpose also of our book, right? We want to emphasize the importance of focusing right now and the urgency of enterprises and leaders to
Mhm.
make data as the fourth pillar. So, I mean, this has been a great discussion, Mark. I don't know if you want to share some final thoughts, maybe for our listeners, how they can reach you. I mean, most of them, I'm sure, would follow you on LinkedIn. But if there's any other parting thoughts you have for our listeners, for us, for the book, etc., that would be great.
Yeah, so Sid, we know each other for quite a while. I'm a big fan of your leadership as well. Sujay, we have not met in person yet, but I'm a big recommender of this book. Um, I can be reached on LinkedIn. I'm posting every day, at least during the week, on topics. I believe a little bit independently from data because I'm really a huge fan of this AI transformation. Guys out there leverage AI to build new skills, yeah, to build also new data skills. We are testing it right now on the data engineering side, new tools that are out there, and we are seeing massive improvements of quality and speed. It's a huge mistake not to jump on this new technology. For me, it's of similar transformational potential like the electricity.
Yep. Well said.
Amazing.
Thank
Amazing.
you.
Well said, Mark. Thank you so much. And the feeling is completely mutual. Continue to follow you on LinkedIn and get inspired by all the imaginative posts and the videos that you put in there. So appreciate it, Mark.
Thanks
Thanks
a
a lot.
lot, Mark. Take care. Bye.